Hi everyone, and welcome back to the show where we break down learning strategies, testing insights, and ways to help students succeed in school and beyond. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're talking about the CogAT test for grades 4 through 6. What it is, what's different at this level, and how to help your child or students prepare without stress. These years are a big leap in thinking skills. Students are expected to reason more abstractly, solve multi-step problems, and make connections across subjects. The CogAT at this stage reflects that shift. So let's get started. What is the CogAT? CogAT stands for Cognitive Abilities Test. It doesn't measure how much a child has memorized. Instead, it looks at how they think and solve problems in three main areas. 1. Verbal reasoning, understanding and working with words. 2. Quantitative reasoning, thinking with numbers and numerical patterns. 3. Nonverbal reasoning, solving problems using shapes, figures, and spatial relationships. Schools use CogAT results to identify gifted and talented students, match learning styles to instruction, and in some cases decide class placements or enrichment opportunities in the structure for grades. 4 to 6. By grades 4 to 6, students take level 10 to level 12 of the CogAT, depending on age and grade. Unlike the early primary levels, these are read independently by the student. No oral administration. Each of the three batteries, verbal, quantitative, nonverbal, is broken into 3 subtests. That's 9 subtests in total. Verbal battery, verbal analogies, finding relationships between pairs of words. Sentence completion, choosing the best word to finish a sentence logically. Verbal classification, grouping words with similar meanings or categories. Quantitative battery, number series, identifying number patterns and predicting the next in the sequence. Equation building, creating a math equation from given numbers and symbols. Quantitative relationships, comparing numerical expressions to see which is larger or if they're equal. Nonverbal battery, figure matrices, identifying patterns between shapes and figures. Paper folding, predicting shapes and hole patterns after folding and punching paper. Figure classification, grouping shapes based on shared attributes. The test is multiple choice and timing is tight, so efficiency matters. Scoring. CogAT scores come in several forms. Raw score, how many questions were answered correctly. Standard age score, SS, adjusts for the student's exact age when comparing to national norms. Percentile rank shows how the student's performance compares to others of the same age. Stanine groups scores into 9 categories from 1 low to 9 high. Gifted programs often look for students scoring in the 96th percentile or higher. But remember, this test is just one piece of the bigger academic picture. How CogAT differs at this level. In grades 4-6, the CogAT moves toward abstract problem solving. That means more complex analogies and vocabulary. Multi-step numerical reasoning problems. Nonverbal items that require visualizing spatial changes in multiple steps. Students also have to manage their time independently. No pauses between reading and answering as in the younger levels. Preparation strategies. Here's how to help a child prepare without turning it into a stressful cram session. 1. Expose them to the question types. Even bright students can freeze if they've never seen figure matrices or paper folding questions. Practice helps build familiarity. 2. Play logic and pattern games. Puzzles, chess, Sudoku, and math riddles all build CogAT-type thinking skills. 3. Build vocabulary and word reasoning. Read varied materials, discuss word meanings, and play verbal analogy games. 4. Practice mental math and estimation. Quick calculations and recognizing number patterns save time on the test. 5. Teach time management. Use timed practice to help them balance speed with accuracy. 6. Review mistakes together. Go over wrong answers and talk through the correct reasoning. This turns errors into learning opportunities. Mastering the nonverbal battery. I want to highlight the nonverbal section because many students underestimate it. The nonverbal battery can be a game changer for scoring, especially for kids who are strong visual thinkers. Why it's important, it doesn't rely on reading. So language isn't a barrier. It reveals problem-solving ability in shapes, patterns, and spatial reasoning. How to practice? Work with tangrams and pattern blocks, do paper folding crafts, and then predict the outcomes before unfolding, solve visual pattern puzzles in puzzle books or online apps, practice mentally rotating shapes and predicting how they'll look. Students who develop strong nonverbal reasoning often improve in math and science too, because these skills carry over to geometry, data interpretation, and even experimental design. Before we get into more tips for mastering the CogAT in grades 4 through 6, I want to share a resource I think you'll really appreciate, the CogAT Test Prep Grade 4-6 by Mervoxid Press. What I love about this book is that it's not just a set of practice questions. It's a complete guide that walks students through every type of question they'll see on the test: verbal, quantitative, and nonverbal. Each section has clear examples, step-by-step explanations, and targeted practice that actually teaches the reasoning behind the answers. The nonverbal section is especially strong. It includes figure matrices, paper folding, and classification problems that can be tough to find in other resources, and it gives students the confidence to tackle them under timed conditions. It's also laid out in a way that makes it easy for parents and teachers to guide practice without feeling overwhelmed. Whether you're doing a few questions a day or a full-time section, it adapts to your schedule. If you want a structured, effective way to help your child feel prepared and confident before test day, I highly recommend checking it out. I'll drop a link in the description so you can take a look. All right, let's get back to the episode. Test day tips. On test day, sleep well the night before. Eat a balanced breakfast. Protein plus complex carbs for steady energy. Bring 2 sharp pencils and an eraser. Read directions carefully. Even if you've practiced, skip a question if it's taking too long. Come back if time allows. Remind them. It's okay not to know every answer. The goal is to do their best thinking. The CogAT in grades 4 to 6 is less about memorizing facts and more about how well students can think through problems, verbally, numerically, and visually. If you make practice part of everyday life, encourage curiosity, and let them explore patterns and puzzles, they'll walk into the test prepared and confident. Thanks for listening. If this episode was helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with other parents and educators. I'll see you next time with more tips for academic success.